Um, Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum, sir.
Not only do we have a quorum, it is time to start. Let's see.
No,
Open.
the keys are in there.
Thank you. Video.
And put your belt.
And we're ready to go. Ready to go, guys?
Sí, señor.
Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Hialeah Planning and Zoning Board meeting for, excuse me, Wednesday, June 11, 2025. Everyone, please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Lord, thank you for granting us the opportunity to be in here tonight. We ask that you please watch over us and enlighten us as we make the decisions ahead of us for the city and its citizens. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May be seated.
Meeting guidelines. The following guidelines apply to today's Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Any person, whether participating via the web platform, telephonic conferencing, or physical presence at City Hall, interested in making comments or posing questions on any item on the agenda may do so during the meeting. Members of the public may hear the meeting live through telephonic conferencing using any telephone or cell phone service. A smart device or computer are not necessary to participate in the meeting if you join by phone. All persons participating via the web platform will be muted during the meeting until called upon to be heard. Participation through Zoom requires a computer or smart mobile device with a microphone or web camera. The participant may elect to participate in the meeting using audio only or appear through both audio and video. The video function of all participants appearing through video will be turned off until called upon to be heard. All lobbyists must register with the Planning and Zoning Board prior to item being heard. A maximum of 4 speakers in favor and 4 speakers in opposition will be allowed to address the Planning and Zoning Board on any item. Each speaker's comment will be limited to 3 minutes. Roll call. Mr. Perez?
Here.
Mr. Mason?
Here.
Mr. Iglesias?
Here.
Mr. Jimenez?
Here.
Mr. Ulloa is absent. Mr. Morales?
Here.
Mrs. Enriquez? Here. We have a quorum. Administration of oath to all applicants and anyone who will be speaking before the board on any item.
Everyone and anyone that's going to speak in front of the board, please stand, raise your right hand, and we'll swear you in. That includes those in Zoom. Is there anyone on Zoom? Okay.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth before this board? ¿Usted jura o afirma decir la verdad ante esta junta?
Thank you. Thank you. Let the record show that the answer was on the affirmative, including Frank.
Summary minutes or a copy of the audio file of the proceedings before the Planning and Zoning Board shall be prepared and submitted to City Council before its hearing. The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the City Council at a scheduled meeting of Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. LU 1, small scale map amendment from residential office to commercial. Properties located at 705 East 8th Avenue, Hialeah, zoned RO Residential Office District. Applicant, Octavio Santurio, architect on behalf of Marble LLC.
Thank you. Let the record show that Mr. Ulloa is now present and accounted for.
Yeah, yeah.
Name and address, please. Press a button. Press a button.
My name is Octavio Santurio. My address is 6262 Southwest 40th Street, South Miami, Florida. I'm here today to represent my client and to ask for this change in the land use plan from RO to
Okay, Octavio.
business.
Let her read it into the record, and then we can,
Okay.
then you have the floor to yourself. Thank you.
This property is located at the northeast corner of East 8th Avenue, Lejeune Road, and East 7th Street. The parcel was subdivided in 1952 as part of Section 5 of the Suntan Village subdivision, according to Miami-Dade County plating records. The same year, a one-story single-family home residence was constructed on the site and remained in use until 1999. At that time, the property had a low residential density designation. According to our records, the land use designation is residential office, attached in the map in your report, allowing the property to be rezoned to a compatible residential office zoning district. City records indicate that the property was redeveloped in 2010 to its current condition under the residential office land use designation. The current request seeks to change the property land use to commercial. While this change will expand the permitted use on the property, the submitted site plan indicates that the existing site improvements will remain unchanged. The intent of the expand to allowed use for is to accommodate the operations of an adult daycare center. This proposal will require a change of use and the property must meet concurrency requirements. However, since the site is already fully developed, only minor impacts are anticipated. Staff has no objection to the request to amend the land use designation to commercial. Recommendation approval.
I could not
Thank you.
have said it better.
Well, there you go, see? I
Okay.
saved you some,
Thank you.
I saved you some energy. Do you have any comments?
I've just that it's a small land use amendment change and from RO, which it always exists. And the reason we're requesting for B1 is because they don't allow it an adult daycare on a RO.
Good deal. Comments or questions from the board? Anyone in the audience? Okay, closes the part of the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Wow.
Wow.
Everybody wants to. Hey.
Don't argue with
It
it.
must be my perfume.
Motion by Mr. Iglesias, second by Mrs. Enriquez. Mr. Iglesias?
What was it? Yes.
Mr. Jimenez?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
Yes,
Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Item has been approved.
Thank
been
you.
approved.
Thank you.
No,
So,
no.
so the lobbyists that speak less get their things approved faster? Is that how it is?
Yeah, but those
Ah.
that speak out of term and speak from the audience, they get last.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
take it out.
got it.
Okay. Alrighty, so that closes the land use part of the meeting. We will now continue on to the regularly scheduled planning and zoning board meeting, so we need to.
So, item number 1, approval of planning and zoning board summary agenda of May 28th, 2025 as submitted.
Motion to approve.
Second that motion?
So we have a motion by Mrs. Enriquez, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias?
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez?
Yes.
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Item has been approved. A written decision and resolution will be prepared and presented for review to the city council. The city council is authorized to affirm with conditions, or override the decisions by resolution. After the resolution is adopted, contact a member of the city clerk's office to obtain a copy of the final decision and resolution. Upon your receipt of the final decision and resolution, contact the building department to obtain your required building permit. Summary minutes or a copy of the audio files of the proceedings before the Planning and Zoning Board shall be prepared and submitted to the city council before its hearing. The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the city council at its scheduled meeting of Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. Item number 2.
Through the chair, I'm sorry, Gisela, do you want to switch the?
That's, I was just gonna bring it up to the board here, since Mr. De La Paz so conveniently offered that kind.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So is the board okay with moving the item
Of
on
course.
to number 3?
Not a problem.
Okay.
We
Go
don't
ahead.
see those good gestures from
Thank
Mr.
you.
La Paz every day, so.
Okay, so
Yes.
we'll hear item number 3 first.
Yes.
Repeal and rescind City of Hialeah, Florida ordinance number 2011-16. Rezoning property from RO Residential Office District to B1 Highly Restricted Retail District. Variance permit to allow front setback of 6 feet where 20 feet are required. Allow street side setback of 5.5 feet where 10 feet are required. And to allow 12 parking spaces where 13 parking spaces are required. Property is located at 705 East 8th Avenue, Hialeah Zoned RO Residential Office District. Applicant Octavio Santurio, architect on behalf of Marble LLC.
Thank you. Name and address, please.
Octavio Saturio, 6262 Southwest 40th Street, Suite 3, South Miami, Florida.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
So this is the companion item of the considered land use amendment application previously reviewed. The property is located at the northeast corner of East 8th Avenue, Legion Road, and East 7th Street. The parcel was subdivided in 1952 as part of Section 5 of the Suntown Village subdivision, according to Miami-Dade County plating records. The same year, the property was developed with one-story single-family residence, which remained in use until 1999. In 1999, pursuant to ordinance number 99-17, the property was rezoned from R1, one single residential district, to RO, residential office, along with the granting of certain variances. However, ordinance number 99-17 was later repealed and replaced by ordinance number 07-09, which again rezoned the property from R1 to RO and granted similar variances. This latter ordinance permitted the development of the property into its current form, a two-story building with approximately 3,545 square feet of building area. In 2011, the property was approved to operate with 6 occupational licenses instead of 2 typically allowed under this zoning designation, under ordinance number 2011-16. The property is currently operating as a medical facility under the name of Los Amigos and has active violations on records with the fire department. This application proposes to rezone the property from RO, residential office, to B1, highly restricted retail district, in order to allow the operation of an adult daycare center. The existing RO zoning only permits professional services and office uses. Since the existing two-story structure and site improvements are to remain, and because the M1 district has different development standards, this application includes the request for reduced front and side setbacks, as well as a reduction of 1 parking space from the required total. The variances are procedural in nature, as the site has been operating in its current form since 2010. The rezoning request is compatible with the surrounding areas, as properties zoned C2 and B1 are located directly to the north and west, with low-density residential areas are located to the south and east. The proposed adult daycare center is a low-intense use appropriate for this transitional location. Staff has no objections to the rezoning and associated variances, provided that the property is developed and used in accordance to the plan prepared by Octavio Santurio, architect, signed and dated April 14, 2025. Recommendations: approval with conditions.
Thank you, Claudia. I have a little trivia question here that I know that Frank is going to know the answer to. Possibly you. Does anybody know why they call that Suntan Village?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I know. Back in World War II, that all those areas in Legion Road, east and west, were
Right.
built houses, and they were made out of concrete, and they had a second story. And through the years, people have added build on top of that, but it was basically called suntan use because you had a stair that you could go
On the
there
outside.
and
Yeah.
suntan yourself. That's what our white hair. It's we know the answer.
But yes, he doesn't have that much white hair, but I knew
he probably didn't know.
because he's a well-learned individual. Okay.
No le busque la lengua.
Enough of the trivia. Go ahead, please. Comments or questions?
Basically, it's again, I couldn't have said it better than Claudia, and I want to thank you for listening to us and for this request to allow the reduction of 1 parking space, the setback adjustment, and the rezoning of an RO to a B1.
Great. Thank you. Comments from the board?
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
what are the active violations of the fire department?
What they had right now, it's they were minor in nature. We're sprinkling the building completely because the new law requires any new daycare, either an adult or child and everything, any new shall receive a fire sprinkler system, and that's what my plans consist of. We're fire sprinkling the whole building.
Fire sprinklers, fire suppression devices and what have you. Do they, Claudia, require backup generators?
For
Not-
an adult daycare, this is not going to be a living facility.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is just a
It's just
day
temporary.
operation, so
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that there is something in there for like a nursing home or something like that where you
In that case, it will be required.
require it because
Yeah.
a lot of the patients are on life sustaining.
I do ALFs, and they
Right.
require it's a generator, a backup generator.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? Any more questions? Anyone in the audience? All right, closes the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board
Motion to approve.
Second.
with the conditions?
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Jimenez, second by Mr. Mason and Mrs. Enriquez. Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez.
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias.
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez.
Yes.
Item has been approved with conditions.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I figured I would throw in that trivia there to see.
Your head. I leave you in good hands.
Oh, maybe in good hands.
Not only he explained it correctly, but then again, those houses there, they're one of the worst to remodel in Hialeah because when they were built, the interior walls were solid concrete.
Yes,
Because
it was a bunker.
it was a bunker because it was the first redevelopment after the war, and just to the north, where the police station is and all that, we have major concrete plants when they built all those temporary airfields for the practice and teaching of piloting. So they had to use the concrete until they realized that it wasn't worth it building in that style.
They were also marketed as bomb-proof.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
they were pretty much hurricane proof. My wife's cousin had one of those houses right down Legion Road, and she would have those what are those Bahama shutters that you just
Yes.
put down the sticks.
Right.
That was impenetrable. And when you say that's poured concrete throughout the whole house. They would just put metal plates, pour the concrete in, and it's got rebar in it too. So when you drill into it, you might even heat rebar. It's incredibly built out.
But
Unfortunately, sometimes some of the people have come in and built second stories.
yes,
And they want to convert it to duplex or a single family house, but the staircase is on the outside and there is no way to build one
No.
on the inside because
you can get to it.
you cannot cut through that concrete. But anyway,
Okay. Please name and address so that we can.
call the item first,
Let me-
Frank
let me
La
just-
Paz.
We're reminiscing.
6:30 for the end of the meeting.
6:30, okay.
All right.
Frank De La Paz, 11,000 Southwest 104th Street on item 2.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Go ahead.
item number 2, variance permit to allow a 10-foot wide two-way direction access way where 20-foot wide two-way direction access way is required. Property is located at 520 East 49th Street, Hialeah zoned RO Residential Office District. Applicant Frank De La Paz on behalf of Arnold J. Lemus Jr.
This property, you heard it also in the last meeting, so this is an additional request that this item wasn't included. So the subject property is located on the south side of East 49th Street between East 5th Avenue and East 6th Avenue. The land was originally platted in 1925 as a 50-foot wide lot and has been developed as a one-story single-family home since 1948, according to Miami-Dade County records. In 1989, the property was rezoned from R1, One Family District, to RO, Residential Office District, through the City of Hialeah Ordinance Number 89-99, and included several variances related to parking and setback reductions. The current land use designation for the property is residential office, consistent with adjacent properties along 49th Street. The zoning classification is RO, Residential District, which is consistent. However, the property is still being used for residential purposes. The rezoning was approved with the intent that the rear portion of the structure will remain in residential use while the front portion will be used for office purpose. At the time, this configuration was consistent with the RO zoning designation, which permitted owner-occupied residents to incorporate office uses. The applicant previously appeared before the Planning and Zoning Board in May 28, 2025 for a variance request. The applicant is now returning to the board to request a variance to allow the 10-foot wide two-way access where the 20 feet wide two-way access is required. This request is necessary to accommodate vehicular circulation to the rear of the property where 5 parking spaces are proposed. The request stemmed from the closure of a 12-foot alley at the rear of the property through City Hialeah Ordinance Number 94-104, which eliminated the rear access. As a result, the site no longer has a functional access point from the alleyway, requiring an alternative solution. The applicant proposes to demolish the existing carport on the west side of the property to create a 10-foot wide access way, which will narrower than required. Is the only feasible option given the limited lot width of the 50 feet on-site constraints. Staff recommends approval of the variance request to allow the 10-foot wide two-way accessway, given the design conditions created by the alley closure, the lot narrow width, and the limited impact on the surrounding properties. The proposed access provide a reasonable and functional alternative that support the continued use of the property. Recommendation approval.
Thank you.
I agree.
You agree? Okay. So we're gonna leave it at that. Comments or questions? What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second the motion.
So we have,
Did you open it for public hearings?
There's nobody. Well, public hearing, anyone? Hi.
Alejandro, ¿quiere decir algo? No, no.
No sé. No, not no say, Jose. Okay. All right.
so we have a motion by Mr. Jimenez, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Mr. Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias.
Yes.
Item has been approved.
Thank you very much. I'll take the opportunity to welcome Mr. Luis Modales to the Planning and Zoning Board of Hialeah. I hope that you will do as good as many that have come before you with such a last name. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
You see, 6:30, you're gonna be okay.
Okay, so item number 4, repeal and rescind City of Hialeah, Florida ordinance number 2024-040. Special use permit to allow the expansion of the neighborhood business district overlay in relation to a proposed multifamily development, including 39 residential units. Variance permit to allow 39 multifamily units with an area less than 700 square feet, where 700 square feet is the minimum required and only 25% of the residential units may have a minimum area of 500 square feet. Allow residential use only where mixed use is required, and to allow residential use on the ground floor where residential use is only allowed above the ground floor. Allow 25% pervious area where 30% is the minimum required. Variance permit to allow partial waiver of minimum landscape requirements through landscape mitigation as per section 98-2235. And to release the existing declaration of restricted covenants recorded in official record book 34239, page 2016 of the public records of Miami-Dade County, Florida. Properties are located at 308 East 9th Street, 330 East 9th Street, and 342 East 9th Street. Hialeah Zone C3, Commercial Residential District. Applicant, Hugo Arza, Esquire, on behalf of 21 Plaza LLC.
You got it. You got it.
Good. You did. Good evening, everybody. Hugo Arza, 701 Brickell Avenue, representing the applicant this evening.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
The properties in this application are located on the south side of East 9th Street between East 4th Avenue and East 3rd Avenue. 3 lots encompasses this application, which has been unified according to an existing recorded unity of title. The consolidated properties include 0.77 acres with central business district land use and designation and a commercial residential zoning, CR. And were improved with commercial buildings, but the sites are currently vacant land since the commercial buildings had been demolished recently. The consolidated properties receive an approval according to ordinance number 2024-040, granting the expansion of the neighborhood business district, NBD, through a special use permit, and granting variances to reduce the size of the residential units, reduce the front setback, and allow for a parking variance of 65 parking spaces for the 33 residential units and the 1,931 square feet of commercial area within the mixed-use proposal. These variances were granted with conditions to provide a declaration of restrictions on a parking management plan. This application is requesting to rescind and repeal ordinance number 2024-040 and release the declaration of restrictions recorded in the official records of Miami-Dade County, referenced in the legal notice of this application. The new proposal for the consolidated properties is a 3-story building, fully residential, with 39 multifamily units and 57 parking spaces provided. This proposal shall receive a special use permit for the expansion of the NBD, and the project is provided the following incentives to increase the density and height for the project. 1 point, to provide a low-rise development with surface parking, including design elements such as balcony, landscaping buffer, fences, and gates. 1 point, significant amenities such as dog park and a domino park, and 0.5 point for 2 art pieces on each driveway entrance. In addition, this application is requesting a variance to allow the project to be fully residential, where the MBD requires to have a mixed-use component and is requesting to develop all the residential units at 620 square feet, where the minimum is 700 square feet of area. The property is also proposing a 5% reduction of the pervious area requirement, provided only 25% pervious area. In contrast to the previous application, this project is providing more than the minimum parking required, since the parking requirements were reduced according to the latest MBD ordinance. Therefore, 1 parking space per unit is required and 1 parking per every 10 spaces per guest are required, yielding to 43 parking spaces of the project. And the project is providing 57 parking spaces. There is a 10-foot front area to provide the minimum landscaping buffer to the street. This landscaping buffer shall be filled with canopy trees with a minimum of 10 to 12 feet in height and 4 inches caliber of planting. Therefore, a fully landscaping and irrigation plan shall be submitted at site plan. This landscaping buffer will assist with the facade and the lower level treatment, since there is not active ground floor. Staff is providing the following conditions for this project. Provide a declaration of restrictions to develop the property according to the plan submitted by Albert Gonzalez Architect, PA, dated August 27, 2024, and provide a landscaping and irrigation plan at site plan. Staff recommends approval with conditions.
Thank you. Hugo?
Good evening again, Hugo Arza, 701 Brickell Avenue. I'm going to have a brief presentation. Thank you, Claudia, for your recommendation of approval. We worked closely. The building was requesting a front setback for a while. We were able to accommodate and remove that request to provide for some additional space in the front of the building, which we are enhancing and meeting the staff's request to have more landscaping in that area and make it more pedestrian friendly. So we worked through that whole process, and so you have 1 fewer variance and I think a better project. So next slide. So property overview, it's approximately a 2-acre property. It's a mid-block property on East 9th Street between 3rd and 4th Avenue. East 3rd and 4th. Next slide. Existing land use and zoning, again, we're seeking a special use permit to extend the NBD. However, it is in the central business district, commercial residential zoning. So it's intended to have and does permit already residential zoning. And as you'll see, everything behind us is also R3D, which is one of the city's higher density categories to begin with. So certainly this is a project that's very in line with the area around it. Next slide. It's a bit of a misrepresentation, because that's what it looked like. It is those buildings have now been demolished. It is a vacant site at this point, but it was kind of your standard fare, older 1970s type of strip retail shopping center, an additional building to the right, you know, obviously a bit of a tired look. And so now that's been totally cleared out. Next slide. And again, the application requests are straightforward: MBD expansion, the minor setback variances, and the release of the declaration of restrictions from a prior project. We're similar to the prior project. We're not providing any commercial. The reality is that the property owner found it difficult once he went to start the construction and move forward with the project that's currently approved. The ground floor being retail mid-block was really going to be very difficult to absorb, and so they re-envisioned it. There's a lot of other retail opportunities along East 9th Street, and so we've transitioned it to a fully residential project that at a mid-block location here. And part of your request this evening would be to recommend to just remove and rescind that prior approval. The one bit of good news, and Claudia highlighted it, and I think it'll bring some joy to Mr. Ulloa, is we are overparked. You don't hear me say that very often, right? We are providing the required parking space, and then there's an additional 14 parking spaces. And so again, with the change in the code recently now, it does give us an opportunity to still build a viable economic project and provide for now additional parking. Next slide. I just picked one slide. I mean, obviously, housing availability and the like, we continue to see it. These are all one bedrooms. And so, we know about whether it's RVs or converted garages or illegal efficiencies or whatever the case may be, not just in Hialeah, but all throughout Dade County. The opportunity to provide for additional housing stock at the one bedroom size, helps to alleviate some of those concerns. And like I said, I picked one news story, but I'm sure we're all aware of many, many news stories with respect to the need for additional housing in our community. Next slide. And again, the site plan. And so as you can see, 2 entrances. So you come in and out, you can circulate along East 9th Street, back right and back left, have the areas for a dog park, a small little dog area in case any of the tenants have dogs. Also like a kind of an open space with a domino table, just really an area for folks to be able to step outside, maybe not in June or July, but in December and January, we'll be realistic. But again, the building mostly fronts East 9th. So even though we certainly don't have any neighbors here this evening, but we are being sensitive to the fact that there's always going to be neighbors. Again, their zoning maybe R3D, but there, might be duplexes and triplexes and quadplexes. I believe I even counted in the street behind us. And so we've, pushed the building closer to the front on East 9th Street. Next slide. It's a project being developed by prestige companies. And so many of the renderings and projects that I've presented before you for a long, long time are there. But really it speaks to more of, the developer that's homegrown and understands this market and also knows how to manage these properties effectively from a parking standpoint, from a renting standpoint, from a maintenance standpoint. And so we're happy to bring, yet another project and to the city. Next slide. I think these are just, some pretty pictures. Those are always a good note to end on. So I think there may be a couple of pages of the pretty pictures, but fairly straightforward requests for you all this evening. And we would urge you to follow staff's recommendation. We agree with the director's conditions and happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, unfortunately, I'm not going to hit my 6:30 target, but maybe we can all get out of here pretty quickly. So, and yes, thank you or welcome to Mr. Morales. I had a chance to meet him before the meeting. You're in good hands.
Thank you, Hugo.
Oh, and I didn't know anything about Suntan Village, so I'm glad you didn't ask.
You didn't?
I didn't know that story. No.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up in La Sabuesera.
That's how I said. Oh,
I mean, I've been coming to Hialeah my whole life, but I think that's a Hialeah story.
yeah. All right. Comments or questions from the board? All right. Anyone in the audience? All right. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second the motion
So we have,
with conditions.
Yes.
so we have a motion by Mr. Jimenez, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez.
Yes.
Item has been approved with conditions.
Thank you all. I'm not sure I'll see you before the recess, so enjoy your month off. So,
Through the chair, thank you, Mr. Arza, for working with the staff in this project.
of course,
We appreciate
anytime we can. I know you'll appreciate. This is on the record, so I'll get in trouble for it. But I know sometimes we have to push our clients a little bit, and
Appreciate it.
it was the right thing to do. So, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
I'm sorry you have to leave so early.
Miscellaneous item not requiring advertising. Item number 5, tentative plat of East 7th Avenue duplex.
Through the chair, this is a corner lots and basically they are converted into one lot. Corner lot with 2 lots and now they are unified it into one lot.
The applicant?
I don't have.
You don't have it?
So the Department of Water and Sewer has some comments and conditioned if there is a change of use, approval is required. Fire has no objections, Police Department, no objections, Parks and Recreation, no objections. The Street Department does not oppose the tentative plat. However, the assign and seal paving and drainage plan will be required the final plat approval when issued. So we have no objection. Major objections, just comments.
Okay. Comments or questions?
Is there no applicant? here? No? Oh. A motion to approve.
Second the motion.
So we have a motion by Mr. Jimenez, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Morales,
Yes.
Item has been approved, subject to comments. Item number 6, old business? No old business. Item number 7, new business?
Any new
Yes.
business?
On the same note that Mr. Frank de la Paz made, also wanted to welcome Mr. Morales. It's good to see young blood in the city because
Thank
we
you so
need
much.
it. We need it.
Young blood?
Absolutely. I think everybody's giving me a pretty professional and warm welcome, so I appreciate everybody and hopefully I can live up to the city's expectations.
Oh, we'll hold you up to it.
You have a lot of guidance here.
So-
Thank you.
I like how he says young blood, so he's kind of like hinting old geezers, right?
We need young people in the city.
The old farts here.
No.
Well, I feel like my white hair is paying some dues, though.
I know.
No, but he's way younger. Come on.
Well, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, the other guy was really old, yeah.
No, I mean, I count myself in all this. I mean, we need young people. That's good. That young people want to get
I'm not
involved.
used to being new to the team, so I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no more snazzy remarks,